Some people, give it up for Mike Beazley!
Thank you, you guys. Aloha. Aloha, Kyani Nation. Aloha, Timoa. Romeo, Namanapin ang talk. But everybody put their notes to me, so I'll put mine over there too. Pastor Ron, thanks for sharing. If you don't know it, I think Kyani, well, I got it too from my hair too, to grow back. But I noticed that when you addressed everybody, and then you were going to read your material, you took off your glasses, so I think that's a testimony if you don't know. Kyani working on your sight. So what is that? Thank you, Tyler Sharp, for coming down from corporate. Appreciate all you guys do up there in corporate, especially with me, calling Tyler and texting Tyler, but this actually, Tyler and I have a little business to settle. Last week, he took the Cougars, I took the Warriors. We won halftime, we won game. He wanted the pineapple trees out of season. So, this is our wager. Please, Tyler here.
As part of that wager, again, he just came back. He didn't say this before the game, that the halftime score was really going to be what we were wagering on. He said it after the game. And I said, okay, if Hawaii does win, then I'll make sure that I get you a box of Nitro Extreme, the 15 milliliters, yeah? Well, since Hawaii won at halftime, I'll give them 4.
Yeah, I'm working on my intellect. Thank you guys. Yeah, so I've been with Kyani for about 28 months. So, and I remember when we were in, where were we? Yeah, well, let me check my phone. Yeah, here. Remember. So we were just talking, and then we were talking about. I met this couple, an elderly couple, and in their maybe close to the 80s, and married for a bunch of years. So I was telling Tyler that we've been married. My wife and I have been married for 18 years. And but that 18 years, we were together for about 15 years before we got married. And so I was telling Tyler that I've been to what do you call that time when you celebrate somebody's wedding? Yeah, anniversary. So I went to a 60th year anniversary with this couple, and everybody, that's quite remarkable, 60 years. And so they had, they asked him, what was it that really kept his marriage alive and, firing? And he said, well, one of the things that he always remembers was the birthday, the wedding anniversary, and all of those things, And he said the other thing was that, for him to be the king, he always had to treat the wife as the queen. So for you guys, that's a good tip. And then he said that, and the other thing is that you gotta take your wife on vacation, trips. He says, so everybody said, really? He says, yeah. He said, as a matter of fact, for the 25th anniversary, he took her to Beijing, China. So somebody, smart aleck in the crowd said, well, what did you do for your 50th? He said, I went back to pick her up. All I got about 7 more years of getting to Beijing, China. But, well, you guys know Kyani, Kyani, it has all the substance. they have everything in place in order. I've been in the industry 20 years ago, never got back in the industry until Kyani. And it was because of the heartbeat of Kyani. Can you imagine? The founders, they have no interest in raising up their own lifestyle. They're not interested in more cars, or more real estate, or more trips, or more vacations, or any lifestyle. They're not interested in increasing their lifestyle one iota. They're interested in blessing the lives of others. They're interested in giving you and empowering us and giving us a platform that we can run on to be successful and pull ourselves up economically, physically, and change our story. They want actually to make their life count. That's what Kyani Heartbeat is all about. And that's why you and I, you don't have to be this big network marketing guru. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to be slick, manipulative. You don't have to know all the goals. I remember my friend in Kona, he used to say, it's like grappling. You gotta know what to say. You know, peak and pass. This is what we're talking about. We're going to talk about peak and pass. You gotta know your next move. They say this, you say that. And I used to be at my desk, and I used to have all these cheat sheets so that I could make the contact ones. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. So that when they say something, I got the counter, right? They say, you gotta know the counter. He said, it's just like grappling. He said, man, you know what? I ain't got time for grappling. I only got time to tell this guy, man, that I love him, and he's got a chance in Kyani. You know? That is really the heartbeat. That is what is missing, in my opinion, in the industry. Not only in this industry, but in business. I mean, the message of Kyani is that you matter, you count, you're special, you have the right and ability to live the good life. And I want my life to count, same like you. Because when I close my eyes for the last time, I'm on the other side. This side is no more. And that's the heartbeat of Kyani. And that's what I think people are gravitating to. And so my message to you is that you can be yourself. You don't have to be crafty. It's not about technique. It's not about knowing the closing line. You want to know closing lines, peak lines? Go YouTube. Get plenty experts out there telling you how to do this business. But unless you come from that good place, you're coming from that place of good. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And when you're coming from that place of love, that aloha spirit, which all of you have, you Polynesians, you people that live here, that brought up here, culturally we have that.
Yes.
And if you put that out, that's what they gravitate to. If you don't be slick, you can do the perfect plan, you can do the perfect presentation, know everything about all the ingredients, but until you come from that good place, the neural antennas are out, they feel you. They know where you're coming from. And I tell you what, everybody can be good at being yourself. That's my opinion. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. And what better to have a corporation that is there to back you up? Kirk Hansen, the Taylors, the Powells. I mean, their heartbeat. It is just right. This business has come to this industry at the right time. We have an opportunity, but you've got to engage in the work. That's what we got to do. And I suggest we do it. Instead of have to, need to, we got to do it with want to, get to, choose to, love to. We can do it from that attitude. We can make some ground, and we can have a chance. So, talking about peak and pass, getting a peak and pass, it's a simple thing. Pucky and some of the other guys, we like to refer to it as running people around the bases. If you could picture the baseball diamond, and when you're on a pitcher's mound, you're pitching a peak question, like Melissa talked about form, and the peak, the batter hits the ball, and what you're trying to do, you guys, is get people to see your stuff. We have a store, but we don't physically have a building. And we want to give people information. So the peak and pass is two components of that system that we talk about. And the peak could be a simple question as is, Joe, I got some information I'd like to share with you about nutrition. What's you and your wife's opinion about natural nutrition, getting healthy, maintaining health? Whatever he says to me, that's the P. The pass is, Joe, you mind if I send you some information? That's the P, guys. The pass is to pass it through information. That's first base. What is first base? What does first base have? A bunch of information. Could be a 3-word with your outline. Could be products that you sample. Could be literature. Could be a sizzle call. Could be anything in that toolbox that you use. The important thing to do after that is to follow up. And when you follow up, what do you want to go take that person to second base? What is second base? More information like first base. You want to send them to second base. What that does when you do the follow-up is you're building a relationship. Anytime you engage in conversation, you're building a relationship. You get closer into this space. You see the real, the skin of the onion keeps coming off every time you engage in relationship or you engage in conversation. And you move them to second base. Second base could be some other videos, could be Kyani, could be anything. There's this whole arsenal. We got content, we got everything in there. And then you got to follow up again, and then you take them to third base. Third base just, and no right way or wrong way. You can go first, second, you can go first and send them to, well, but third base is the opportunity that you bring them to the meeting. The reason why I say this, there's no right way or wrong way, but it is human behavior that people have to see something 3 to 4 times before they buy it. You notice the commercials when they put up new movies. They don't just put up, hey, come to the movie. They give you some bits and pieces so that you can come to the movie. So just like us, give them pieces of information so that when they come to third base, they know what they're coming to. Now you can close them. Now you have every right to ask them, customer or business partner. But I went to third base first with Scott, and as a matter of fact, I went to the wrong meeting. You guys almost started. I went to third base first, and then so when I saw the presentation, you know what I had to do? I had to go back to second base for information. Then I went back to first base for information. I kind of went backwards, you know. So it would be better. The better process is to go first base, second base, third. This is just some sort of a model so that you can have some identification of what we're trying to do with Peak and Path. So that's pretty much in a nutshell how it is. But I want to tell you guys that go with yourself. Go coming from that good place. That place is good, and you can do it. When your job is, and our job is to put people on first base and second base all the time, and keep running them around the bases. Because if you do, you got a good chance. And you got a good chance. Our job is to get customers, guys. If we're only looking for distributors, when you look at that piece of pie, the distributorships are so small. That slice of piece of pie is very minute compared to the big piece of pie, which is customers. Every business in America has more customers than distributors. McDonald's has more customers than workers. You take real estate, you take insurance, they got more customers than distributors. We gotta go after those customers. Don't let them, and so if you take around the information, you got a chance to get customers, build volume, and you got a chance to get distributors. So that's my talk for you guys. Thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure. It's always good to see you guys. I know everybody asks, where you been? Well, I've been. But really thank you guys. Good to share with you guys. Thanks.